members of the UAP team, if they could wave. We have the assistant director, Encore, Kumar, and Gabby, and Kyle. So I'm sure these faces are probably familiar to you all. So we'd like to welcome you all. We're not going to have you guys go through your names so we can get through it all. But at the end, we will have a Q&A, and feel free to write down any questions that you may have, and we will answer them to the best of our ability. If we do not have an answer for you now, we promise that we will get an answer for you and get it out to you on Monday, or at least point you in the right direction. So I'm going to get started. This all started from a conversation that we were having with our associate director, Ankar. So a lot of you may not, what I'm holding up is our benchmark list. It's senior benchmarks. So these are benchmarks that you should have reached by this time, at this moment. And we realized that we haven't quite met with most of you. So we thought that this is the best time to come together right when you're getting those notices about graduation and kind of talk through senior year and moving forward. So as I said before, this is a very exciting time. You got 6 to 7 weeks left, and you have finals, you have the graduation parties via COVID, lots of things going on. You're going to be moving right out of your academic career into freedom and a future filled with elation and joy, and then of course that student debt that's around the corner, and understanding a lot of this is going through your heads, and it's probably a little stressful right now. So I want to just take one moment so that we can all just breathe, realizing that this is a very trying time. To say it's a challenge is an understatement, going through this exciting time coupled with COVID and a global pandemic and just unrest in the nation. So if we could just hold space for a moment to just center ourselves and just be present and breathe and realize that this is our moment to care for ourselves and think about ourselves and what we're going to do moving forward. This is a huge milestone for you all. We have job hunting that's coming up. We have financial independence that's coming up, and senioritis is a real thing. People, would choose to just kind of procrastinate and just, let this time go by and not give it any thought. And we just wanted to make sure that you all were very well prepared and very well versed in what you should be thinking about and how you should be moving forward during this time. So I am going to hand it over to my colleague, Rochelle, as we just move through this program this afternoon.
Hello, everyone. Again, I am Rochelle. It's a pleasure being here today. Thank you so much for everyone that's attending. As a recent graduate myself, I totally understand what you're going through. Today, we are going to use a checklist to help reduce any anxious heart rates and to ensure you that there is a bright future ahead for everyone. So let's begin. Today, one of our first checklists will be graduation requirements. So the first step here is to speak with an advisor about graduation, and make sure that you are not missing any last minute credits or any last minute courses at all. If you are missing any credits, now is the time to work it out. All hope is not lost. There is still time and you can do it. You can always make up a missing credit by signing up for summer classes and finding a solution with your advisor. Eligibility. Students eligible to participate in commencement include the following: students who were awarded a fall 2020 or winter 2020 or 21 degree, students who have an estimated graduation term of spring 2021 or summer 2021 and have earned more than 100 credits. Registration for commencement. Now, this is the big deal for everyone. We're all looking for that email, even myself. Since I missed last year's graduation, they decided to include us in this year's graduation ceremony, and that's a great honor. So it is very important to know the exact numbers of attendees at each ceremony. So therefore, we as the SCSU team would like you guys, including myself as a student, to look forward to that email from SCSU concerning commencement and respond to it as soon as possible, because the deadline for commencement, or to have an idea of who's going to graduate, is April 15th. When you register now, you'll be eligible for 2 guest tickets, a family, a friend, but it can only be 2 persons. And this is because of the whole pandemic situation we have right now. So social distancing requirements are put in place, and due to that, they're only allowing us to have 2 persons accompany us to the ceremony. Once you have registered in early May, you'll be able to pick up your reader card, your cap and gowns, and the 2 guest tickets. Tickets, reader card distributions. Your commencement reader cards basically is where you will find your name, the degree you're listed for, along with your honors. And guest tickets will be distributed at the Adunti Center, Student Center, beginning May 3rd, 4th, 5th, 8th, 10th, and 11th. The locations for that particular time is still out there. It will be decided later. You must pick up a reader card and tickets in person. There will be no exceptions to that list. You also must bring your student ID for verification. So therefore, you can't walk into that place on one of those days without your ID. If I'm personally working, I'll tell you come back. And I don't think there's going to be a comeback here. So please remember your IDs, walk with that, it's important. Caps and gowns. Look for an email soon from the senior class with a special message about caps and gowns. You'll be able to pick them up at the Student Center on the same dates as above. Your honor codes. Honor codes will be mailed directly to your home as early as April. You'll receive them in plenty of time to wear them at your commencement ceremony. Your digital yearbooks. Honestly, this one right here, I'm gonna emphasize on that. It is important that everyone gets a yearbook, not only for your sole purpose, but it can also be a generation thing. You can share it with your kids in the future, your grandkids, and so forth, your family members. So we are compiling an online yearbook. We're going with times now. We're not having no paper anymore. We're going with online strictly this time. So in there, you can submit your senior photo. You could tell us about your favorite times at SCSU, and you can get that started by visiting the link that will be provided in the email you will receive about commencement. Arts and Science graduates. There will be 2 ceremonies for the College of Arts and Sciences. The first one is at 10 a.m. and the second is at 2 p.m., which is on May 18th. I hope everyone is still with me. Please, don't fall asleep. I'm trying here. Not sure which ceremony that you'll be in? Well, I'm going to share a little light on that as well. The 10 a.m. ceremony, it includes psychology majors, general studies majors, interdisciplinary study majors, which are IDS majors, math, computer science, EGMS, earth science, physics, chemistry, and biology. The 2 p.m. ceremony, liberal arts. We have in there arts, music, theater, history, English, world languages, philosophy, anthropology, sociology, political science, journalism and communications, media, and screen studies. So each of these have their own categories and their own majors for that time slot. Add to your checklist, take graduation pictures. So again, I'm going to emphasize a little on that. The same way we want the yearbooks, we want pictures too. These are memories. These are precious memories. In my book, I don't want one picture. I want a few meaning hundreds, one from each angle of the campus. So you'll never forget those days. Don't forget to schedule a photo shoot or or have a friend take some pictures for you. We're actually living in some hard times right now. I won't expect you to get a photographer or any of that. Get a family member, a friend, but make sure you take lots of pictures.
Absolutely.
Cheri?
Absolutely. You don't want to miss out on these opportunities to meet with friends. And I know I was looking at some YouTube videos, and some other tips that people were giving was to, on graduation day, have a place where you're going to meet with your family, whether it's on the 50-yard line or it's going to be in front of the owl on the academic yard, or even in the residence halls. But identify a place where you guys are going to meet beforehand, and make sure that you meet with friends on campus to get those pictures before graduation, because we think a lot of things are going to carry through graduation, and you're going to keep close rings on all those friends. But to be honest, life is going to take you in different directions. So we want to hold on to those precious memories now. All right, so I'm going to move on to the Office of Career and Professional Development. Now, let's be honest, when you were a high school senior and you were looking at colleges to attend, you probably looked at, in your ranking, which college is going to give me a job after I graduate? That's how most colleges are ranked. How many of those students get jobs upon graduation? And so Southern's goal is to make sure that you are prepared to have a job after you graduate, that you are employed. So I want to make sure, or we want to make sure, that you are attending the Office of Career and Professional Development. They are dedicated to helping you find a job. They work with you with your resume, cover letters, interviews. They have 3 different arms, but the arms that we're going to focus on right now, I mean, there is an arm that focuses on your major and finding a job within that major, but they're also the Student Transitional Career Services arm. They assist you in transitioning from your senior year into your first job after college. So I'm going to put their website in the chat. Make sure that you visit that website, register for a consultation, and some of the upcoming events. Now, just to let you know what's coming up in April, they have April 7th, a leadership seminar. So this is where they look at your soft skills as well as your leadership skills, and they translate that to verbiage to put on your resume. We're going to look at resume workshop on April 7th, not April 17th, that's April 12th. And then they have open advising on April 17th. But you, as a senior or soon to be graduating, I would strongly advise that you check these people out now before these dates, because they are more than willing to make appointments to see you as soon as possible. You can also check their website, or not their, well, check their website, of course, but YouTube channel for videos regarding navigating the job search, how to create a perfect cover letter, how to write the perfect resume. And then they have a beautiful video on dressing for success. All right. Also, have them do mock interviews. We strongly recommend that mock interviews are done. However, we as your advocates, Rochelle, Kyle, Gabby, myself, even Dawn in this office, as well as Ankar, we would be more than happy to sit with you and have you do a mock interview with us. And if you are some of the companies that you may be interested in, they may have mock interviews. We strongly suggest that you attend those mock interviews. But if you want to practice before you get to those mock interviews, because they are making assessments at that time as well, feel free to contact us, make an appointment through Navigate, give us a phone call, send us an email, and we'd be more than happy to go through some mock interviews with you. It is always good to get feedback on your responses to companies and learn how to best answer their questions. And just learn more about yourself during the interviewing process. Now, after career services has thoroughly gone through your resume and your cover letter and you're feeling really good about it, it's now time to post that resume to some job boards. So the most popular one now is LinkedIn, and you also have Indeed. So once you start your job search, get those resumes uploaded, your profile uploaded. So that way, when you start looking at what's available, all you have to do is hit click and apply. You don't have to worry about, am I ready for, put it in your resume. Just apply and it'll upload your resume to that company. What I will say is make sure that it's legitimate, because what they're finding now is some of these sites like LinkedIn may have recruiters on there posing to be a company, but they're actually recruiting for a company. So make sure it's an actual company or an actual recruiter for the company, and not just some, chaser headhunters that are out there. Rochelle, you want to talk about letters of recommendation?
Sure. It is very important that you have a solid relationship with your professors, your teaching assistants, the UAP office, to be more specific. It gives you an opportunity to reach out to either one of those people to get letters of recommendations. This is something that's really big when you're applying for a position, for a job, or even when you're applying for grad school moving forward. So it's important that you ask a professor, a teacher assistant for a letter of recommendation. You may not need them right away, but once you're starting that interview process, you will definitely need them. Then we'll move down to the social profiles. This here, you gotta be very careful with this. This is where we're speaking about social media accounts. And I know we all have those. So please, this is the time you go on your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, name it, Snapchat, whatever the case may be. You go in there, your LinkedIn, you go into these profiles, you go into your privacy settings, and you make it as private as you can. You remove the inappropriate behaviors. I'm not sure, I can't really be specific, but whatever you know that's not appropriate for a workplace, please remove them. It is fine to show that you're having fun with your friends, but safe fun. No smoking fun and gyrating fun, and no. We just want to see you live a normal life. As somebody looking for a job, that employee is expecting to see professionalism, yet some fun with it. Like the saying goes, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. You can't have all work in you and there's no play. Everyone is expecting you to play, but it just has to be appropriate.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just note that companies are looking at your social profile. And that's just a given. Everybody has a digital footprint, and when you are interviewing, there's someone within that company that's looking to see how you behave. So those college years. So dress. Make sure that right now you're saving up for your professional attire, because you will be expected to have a professional attire when you enter the workforce, as well as interviewing. So just make sure that you've budgeted for dressing for success. And I will say that the Career Center has an excellent video on dressing for corporate or just the workforce. So make sure you take a look at that. And again, we'll put that in the chat. Network, network, network. You always hear this office say it. We always strongly believe in networking with the friends that you have now, that networking with their parents, because their parents may have a job or be in a career that will help you in the future. Your friends that you're working with now may get to land a job within a company that you may want to work for in the future. So the current friends that you have are a perfect network. Your professors, your TAs, anyone that you come in contact with, just make sure you keep in good standing with everybody, because you never know when you can use them or we can lean on each other in the future. So network, make sure you do that. Rochelle, the most important thing, student loans.
Yes, ma'am. Student loans, something we're not happy to hear, but yeah, we have to face reality. It's there, it's ours, and we have to own up to it. Now that we graduated, we find a job, we have loans to pay. Be out looking for those emails and those mails about your student loans. They will come from the companies that serve the loans to you. You will receive an email prior to graduation or even in the summer after graduation. You generally have 6 months before you begin to pay. Deferments, postponement of loan payments based on borrower's eligibility, which depends on specific criteria, the loan type, and the date of the borrower's first loan. In most cases, borrowers must request a deferment and provide documentation necessary to support eligibility. If you enroll in school, your deferment is automatic. Most deferments are borrower specific. The federal government pays the accruing interest on subsidized loans. Types and length of deferments. In school, graduate fellowship, military, and rehabilitation training programs have no time limit. Unemployment and economic hardship has up to 36 months. Forbearance, temporary postponement, reduction, or repayment extension of loan payments. Increase occurs on all loans, offered at lender discretion except mandatory forbearance, typically granted for up to 12 months interval by the loan server, set the maximum time allowed. Borrower's first loan payment is due no later than 60 days after the date of forbearance. Loan forgiveness. Public service loan forgiveness. Borrowers who hold a full-time public service position for 10 years may be eligible to have the remaining direct loans balance canceled after making 120 qualifying monthly payments after October 1st, 2007. Teacher loan forgiveness. The teacher loan forgiveness program is intended to encourage individuals to enter and continue in the teaching profession. Under this program, if you teach full-time for 5 complete and consecutive academic years in certain elementary and secondary school and educational service agencies that serve low-income families and meet other qualifications, you may be eligible for forgiveness for up to a combined total of $17,500 on your direct subsidized and unsubsidized loans, and your subsidized and unsubsidized federal Stratford loans. If you have plus loans only, you are not eligible for this type of forgiveness. So all of the information about loans is also on the SCSU website. You go into financial aid and you can walk your way through, or you could just put in the search bar loans and it will direct you straight into the information about that. And also, if you have any other questions about loans, you Google it. You can search it and it brings up everything. Like it tells you specific information based on what your search is. So the information is always available to you. You just have to look.
Exactly. And we'll put a link to that as well. And if we don't get it in the chat, we'll definitely send an email out. What I will also say, now we're going to move to housing. So you've graduated now. Have you thought about where you're living after graduation? I know a lot will depend on where you're working. But if you're living on campus and you haven't found that job yet, have you asked to get your lease extended? So that may be something that you think about. Late April, early May, like, can you extend the lease or can you sublet somewhere? Because, housing is going to be a very important decision that you make. moving forward. It may even be, are you moving back home? And how do you have that conversation with your parents to say, hey, I'm going to be moving back home until I get on my feet? Or are you moving to another town and you need to look for housing? Is it an apartment? Is it a condo? Is it a co-op? You need to familiarize yourself with those various terms. And then we need to make sure that we don't fall into any pitfalls when it comes to shopping for an apartment, because going out on your own and looking for an apartment is a little, you don't have that safety net of the university and looking for an apartment right here on campus. So we need to make sure that the landlord is right, the neighborhood is right, the amenities are right, and that you've taken into account all expenses that you'll have. It's not just rent, but what are your groceries going to be? What is your utilities? What are they going to be? Laundry. There's so many other things to consider instead of just the rent. So take all of that into account when you're looking at that new big salary that you're getting after graduation. What are your total expenses? So you just need to be very careful with that. And that's going to roll right into budgeting, making sure that, I know you probably already have a checking account and a savings account. And some of you are probably really savvy and already have your investment accounts, but make sure you have your credit accounts and that you are paying off your debt monthly, that you're not carrying huge balances and not being able to pay it off. When you're not paying it off, your credit score is being lowered a little bit, especially if you're not paying it off on time, even the minimum balance on time. So we want to make sure that we're very careful with our credit score, because your credit score will determine future loans, and that's your car loan and your mortgage. So if you want to get low interest rates, you're going to have to make sure that you keep an eye on your credit score. So having good credit is going to be something that's good. So paying back your student loan, making sure that you make sure that you know that that's an expense that you're going to have 6 months out. So add that into your budget and how you're going to be spending those future dollars that you're earning. But I lost my train of thought. Let's see. So making sure that we pay off our bills on time so that we can increase our credit score, so that we will decrease interest rates on loans that we get in the future. All right. Okay, I'm going to move right on to you, Rochelle.
Yes, our next one on the agenda is spending time with our friends. I'm saying our because I'm still a student. I still feel like the whole graduation thing pertains to me too, since I got that great honor. Yes, I'm excited about it. Anyway, it is important that after graduation you spend time with your friends, because after you say your goodbyes at that last ceremony, it is going to be difficult to really bond with friends or see friends. Most of them will be working. Most of them will probably move out of state or even out of the country. And the most maybe you can have with that person is maybe a social media account where you say hello off and on, or a telephone number. It's not going to be the same. Whereas you see that person in person, like that in-person conversation, going out for drinks, laughing. Despite the fact that we have a pandemic, we are still able to have a little fun. So please make sure that you take that time and you bond with your friends. You build everlasting relationships, I should say. Make sure that you don't forget. That's it. Don't forget where you come from. Don't forget your friends. It might take a lot out of your busy day to say hello, but reach out, meet, greet, have fun. Because like I said before, when you're all done with graduation and you're moving forward with life, it's going to be really, really hard to meet up with friends. Then we're moving. Go ahead, Cheri.
No, I was going to say it, absolutely. And then you have, this is your senior year, your last year of freedom before you enter the adult world. So yeah, have fun with friends, but also use this time to think wisely about your life and what you're going to be doing after graduation. Make sure that what you do this last year make sure that it gets you closer to the goals that you've set for yourself going into this year. Reflect on your experiences and the lessons that you've learned, and make sure that we're not repeating the same mistakes that we may have done freshman year. So we should
Yes.
be evolving. We should be evolving as a student and as a person, because I mean, in 7 weeks, you will no longer be a student. You will be a graduate. And some of you, I realize, will probably be graduating in December, because I think we sent the invite out to people with 90 credits and above. So just make sure that we're making wise choices. Lastly, take note of the relationships you've built over the years, like Rochelle was saying. Spend time with these friends, and it's important to ask yourself, do these people motivate me or not? Are these people that I'm carrying over into adulthood, or are these people who were, they were good for this time, but for this season, but now it's time to move on. So just take stock of, who's in your life. This is a good time to do that.
Yes, very true, Cheri.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're moving to the Alumni Association. Joining your school's Alumni Association is a great way to keep in contact with people, especially your schoolmates. So again, this is another very important one. Just piggybacking on what we said before, it's important to keep that communication, that bond with your fellow schoolmates.
Mm-hmm.
We often ask the alumni of SCOP and New Haven Promise to come back and share their experiences. The Alumni Association will host several networking events to allow you to reconnect with old classmates and to build those relationships. So in that opportunity, you get to meet your schoolmates, sometimes even professors that were alumni. It's a great way to even network, to build another type of everlasting relationship. So be proactive, join the alumni, continue the journey. The journey never stops.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the last thing I want to say is just don't stress yourself out. Do not. I mean, a lot is going on right now, and it's probably extremely hard not to do, but don't stress yourself out. You've made it this far. You only have either 7 weeks or 7 weeks in a semester to go, or 7 weeks in the summer to go, but you can do this. You should have time to cherish these final moments of freedom. And of course, you may get a little stressed out with this whole COVID thing and just not knowing, especially if you don't have that job yet. But I think once you talk to the Office of Career Development, and once you've had your mock interviews, and once you really realize what it is you want to do, I think that will take a lot of the pressure off. Again, do your best. That's all we can ask. Do your best. You're going to be tempted, as we said at the onset of this, to get that senioritis and like, oh, 6 weeks and I'm out. It doesn't matter if I get a B on this or A on this or C on this. Absolutely do your very best in all that you do moving forward. And as I always say in all my emails, you got this. So you got this. So we gave you a lot of information tonight.
And Cheri, I want to add something else.
Yeah.
Please don't think if you don't get a job or that opportunity on your first try to say, oh, I'm not getting it, I give up. No. You have to keep trying. You have to keep pushing. It is just not on your, some of us are lucky we get it on our first try. Some of us, we have to keep at it. Don't just give up, or don't just sit and wait. Be proactive. Spread the word. Network. This is where network comes in a lot. You're graduating. Tell a professor that you're friends with, hey, I'm graduating. You know that, right? I am looking for a job. Do you know of any internships? That's how you get it started. Don't give up. And we believe in you. You can do this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Networking is key. So do we have any questions? Feel free to unmute yourself if you have a question that you have for us, or something you want us to go over again, more information needed, you want us to direct you in any direction.
Yes, I have a quick question.
Yes. Who's speaking? There we go. Okay. Amani?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Imani. Hi.
Hi.
Where do you receive the tickets again? Just so I'm sure.
You will get an email, and within that email, it's going to specify the location, but it's saying it's at the Adante Student Center with the dates that I listed before, which will be May 8th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. But the email that you're going to get will definitely tell you more about it.
Did you not get an email today?
Okay.
Yeah, you should have received an email today. If it's not today, you'll get it tomorrow.
You will, most definitely.
Yeah, they're probably coming out on a rolling basis. So I think you should expect it soon.
Thank you.
And let's not rule out graduate school. We kind of talked about like you're graduating and you're out, but some of you may choose to do graduate school, which would be fantastic.
Yes, that is also a great option.
Absolutely.
Speaking from experience, I'm currently enrolled in a graduate studies program, and at first I thought it was going to be challenging, but honestly, I think it's very easy. It's a new world out there. So don't close up your opportunities or your mentality to, oh, I'm done with my undergrad. It's just work now. You can continue. You can go specialize in something, but also make it an idea, a thought that, okay, there's another option for me, which is moving up the ladder or finding another thing you're passionate about to go back to school for. You're never too old to learn.
Absolutely. And I see a question. The senior class is actually going to send out an email to reference all things cap and gown. So be expecting that email. Off the top of, I don't know how much caps and gowns are. And Rochelle, you haven't had the opportunity yet. So do you?
Strangely, I got my cap and gown last year. I don't think it's, can't remember off my head exactly, but it's not more than $100. That's a fact. But I have mine from last year because we were supposed to take pictures to send for a virtual ceremony. So if Gabby is there, sorry, Gabby can also piggyback on that. It's not that costly.
Okay. But expect an email. That should be coming soon from the senior class. And yeah, okay. Is the reader card what you pick up and bring with you on grad day, right before they call your name across the stage? And is the card individual who says your name and honors?
Yeah. That's the card.
Yeah, but
that card also will be sent via mail with your name and your degree. And you take it with you.
And the honor cords will be sent to your home.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
Hey, this is Irfan here.
Uh-huh.
I just had a question. When I know you just said when would the diploma would be sent to your home? Do you like exact date or?
Did you say diploma?
Like I think you just mentioned about something about mailing, being able to mail your diploma to your house.
No, the honor cord.
No, it's the honor cord.
So all the honors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you'll get those in April, well before the graduation, so that you can wear those on graduation day.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
How many credits do you have right now?
So me, well, I think I'm just taking my one last class.
Okay, fantastic. Congratulations.
Congratulations, you've made it.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, I kind of came in late. I was kind of busy. So,
no worries.
Something came up.
No worries.
We're just grateful you're here now.
On YouTube, so you'll be able to listen to it if it's anything that you missed. So.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, absolutely. So guys, if there are no further questions, today is my birthday, so I am eager to get it started.
Happy birthday.
If everybody wants
Happy
to
birthday.
unmute and say happy birthday, Miss Cheri, I'd appreciate it.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Listen, you all enjoy your weekend. Take some time for yourself to really breathe, engage in some self-care. If you're one that celebrates Easter, Resurrection Sunday, do that. But enjoy this time, this 3-day weekend, because we don't get very many of them. Enjoy it. And if you have any questions for Rochelle, myself, Encore, Dawn, Gabby, Niaja, Kyle, don't hesitate. We are here to help you see you through the success of these last final weeks of school. All right? Take care,
Yes.
guys.
Please be safe. We're still in a pandemic. Wear your mask. Have fun responsibly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.